이 세상 일이라는 게 이 계획한 대로 다 되더나.
여론을 우리 편으로 만드는 게 우리 계획의 마지막 퍼즐이니까. 이건 범죄 역사에 혁명으로 기록될 거야.
The actress who played my character, Raquel, Ichiharu Ituno, did such an amazing job. So I had a big shoe to fill to begin with. This was very interesting just because from the original, the big difference with our version is that there is it's not just about conflict between the police and the robbers, but there's extra layer of the conflict between the North Koreans and South Koreans working together to solve this problem in the task force that I lead. So that the whole premise was very interesting. And of course, the complicated relationship between the professor, which I'm not really going to get into because just in case there are people who haven't actually watched this show, I want them to be really surprised by it. Yeah, it was very challenging, but I really enjoyed playing Woojin and working with the director, the writer. Obviously we have an amazing cast. Sadly, I didn't really get to work with a lot of them because I'm not, that would be a problem if I do, run into them. But it was just an amazing experience, and we shot through sort of the height of COVID. So that part wasn't easy, but yeah, just amazing group of people that I got to work with. So that was super fun. For action sequence, there's a long car chasing. I think that's sort of like my biggest action sequence. That was a lot of fun. Obviously, it was divided and with locations and different locations. So shooting things, some parts in outside exterior, and obviously a lot of interior shots were shot inside the studio with the green screen, and they loaded me up on this car that actually they moved on this motor. So that was really helpful. It was actually my first time experiencing that. It was sort of getting on a ride almost, a fun ride. And, when the director said, veer left, and, I would go, and the actual car actually moved with me. So that was so much fun shooting it. And obviously it makes, for actors, it's a lot easier if they provide you with an actual moving car versus you having to do it on your own. So that was a lot of fun. A lot of the emotional stuff, what was really just really delightful playing this character was not only she's the ultimate professional and, sort of professional woman in a man's world. So figuring those layers out, and obviously the task force is made with North Korean characters and South Korean characters, and obviously the extra added layer was really delicate and very interesting to play with. And just my personal journey with my character and with this sort of new love, you think that she's finally going to find this, amazing guy and actually have a happy relationship. But, full stop here. But yeah, it was just a great character, great female role. Well, because of the sort of the limited time and budget, I think the biggest challenge was the weather. We shot during the summer, and obviously, when you're on stage, we're not allowed to have ACs. It was so hot in that tent, and I was really amazed how spacious it looked, because physically, when we were actually there, we were so cramped in, and I felt suffocated. I it was so hot with so many people, and and but the circumstances and the suffocation of the set in itself, I kind of used it to my character. I just felt like, I think this is how she would feel: hot, suffocated, feeling so much pressure. Obviously, there are so many lives, so many lives depend on her and her decision alone. So I sort of used sort of the uncomfortableness of the actual set and used it toward, my character. It feels so good. I'm so proud. Because, you have to understand, back in 2004, when I first started with Lost, and that was my first American show, I was told by the ABC publicist that, this is a first American show with 2 Asian series regulars. And I was floored by that information. I was like, really? But looking back, yeah, I didn't see too many Asian people on television, especially when I was growing up. Maybe you'll see like an extra appear, and I would literally be calling like my sisters, be like, "Hey, there's an Asian person on television, come on!" And then of course that person would be long gone. So growing up in that environment, growing up in New York, and not having any type of representation of someone who looks like me on television or in films, I'm so glad that this new generation of young people can just turn on television anywhere in the world and see Asian faces and not think anything of it. It's such a luxury. And obviously working here as much as I do in America, I don't know, this whole phenomenon is just so delightful for me, and I'm so personally just tickled by this huge change, and just really thankful. Because yes, we do follow sort of the structure, the major structure of the original, and it's so good. Why shouldn't we, right? But I think with a new cast, obviously all Koreans, and a sort of a different take on this amazing story, I think it's worth checking it out. I think we do bring a different, obviously different storyline, different, complexity to the plot, and like I was saying, the added sort of layer of tension between, the supposed unification of North Korea and South Korea, and it's the story that only Koreans can tell, and we have an amazing cast. I mean, it's just, we have an amazing group of actors who will bring a fresh take on this amazing series. So I think it's totally worth your time.